Now, the French have been major style setters, both in fashion and in interior design, literally since Louis XIV. Well, he was a major trendsetter. So how did this Baroque, very formal style translate 300 years later into French contemporary or French modern? There's a little bit of an explanation. Most of the residential dwellings that are still in Paris and those areas still have these high ceilings, these gorgeous wood floors, this unbelievable molding, these beautiful classical fireplaces, often with these huge mirrors above them. And so what the French contemporary designers have done is they have said, we're going to honor all of this beautiful tradition, but we're going to calm it down. So mainly you'll find these spaces to be all one color, either a white of some sort, or sometimes they go towards a dark or a charcoal, but they definitely calm it all the way down, but they leave the detailing in place. So they've still got the beautiful curves and the arches and the filigree, but it's rendered much like a stone sculpture is in white marble. So it's very simplified and contemporized, and it makes it feel more hip. If I were to say one word about French contemporary, it is the epitome of mixing old with new in a sophisticated and understated way. Then they take things like contemporary furnishings and mix those up with this incredibly gorgeous traditional shell that's been made transitional. Then they add some contemporary accent pieces, either in decor or in lighting, and it really becomes this incredibly uber chic space to be in. So how do we go about getting this look? Well, we want to start with our architectural shell. You're going to definitely want applied molding, crown molding, applied molding on the walls, applied molding on the ceiling. You definitely want to add molding and intricate details in that area. The second most important thing that you really want to consider is hard flooring surfaces. All of these spaces are either detailed, like gorgeous chevron wood floors, or they are stone floors, and we can get these. We just have to consider how we do them. We can do them with engineered wood. We can do them with porcelain tiles that look like limestone. So there's a lot of ways to get this look. And then we'll be adding in a little bit of kind of a casual area rug or something along those lines. For your window treatments, you're going to want to consider restraint on that. You definitely want to pop them up as high as you possibly can. You want them simple, straight, quiet, elegant, linen, think white, the color of the walls, think a dramatic velvet of some sort, and that is it. No drama. The fireplace, like I mentioned before, was really an important feature, and they definitely are created with these beautiful Baroque surrounds, plaster or carved wood. They're really sort of important, and there's always this classic Louis XIV gilt mirror above them. They wanted more air, they wanted more space, they wanted to feel grander, so they created this stack of a fireplace opening and then this mirror above it, which is an absolute must for any kind of interpretation of this in a new way. So TVs above the fireplaces? No. Mirrors above the fireplaces? Yes. So now that we have our architectural envelope handled, we need to think about furnishings. How do we get this look with furnishings? Well, the main thing that you have to keep in your mind is that you're consistently going to be mixing up old and new styles in a very intentional way. For instance, take a Baroque bergère like this, done in a gorgeous velvet fabric, and then place a very contemporary little coffee table or an occasional table next to it. That's a beautiful combination of old and new, and creates sort of a casual effortlessness that is what personifies this sort of French contemporary style. And here's another absolutely groovy space that does the same exact thing. Here's that fireplace stack that I was talking about with the mirror. Notice that it has a pendant light, which is very simple but really elegant. But don't miss those leather chairs that are so sexy. They're the open saddle leather. You know, they'll get flawed and patinaed. Oh, they'll be delicious. And then there's the Barcelona bench, all on that beautiful wood floor. And then they've added another element that is quintessentially French, which is the Serene tulip table. In this case, an occasional table, but you can also get it in dining size, which is really fabulous for this kind of look. So when you're thinking about your furnishings, think about materials that are consistent. So it would be organic, natural materials. Think the waxed saddle leathers, linen, wools, velvets, solid wood elements, which are gorgeous, antique hardware. Patina is big, so think silver that's been a little tarnished, or maybe a piece that you find that has some wear on the top of the marble or something. That's all very in sync with this look. Oh, I've got one more that I adore, is the wrapped raffia chairs, and I'll tell you where to get them down below. Oh, those are perfect, as well as a zinc table. Ooh, Louis didn't have zinc tables, but they feel like that period, so you bring them in whenever you can. Oh, here's another thing, which is remember when you're mixing old and new to make sure things stay important. So select maybe one piece. Maybe it's a velvet sofa, or for instance, in this picture, it's that magnificent, I don't even know, Danish modern perhaps, purple velvet chair, which is absolutely stunning. And then give those pieces a little space. Another really focal point to this style is their restraint, their idea of making one or two pieces really important, and then the rest of things get kind of quiet. So for instance, if I was doing a really wumped up chair, say a true Louis XIV bergère of some sort, then next to it I would place a very clean line, simple, maybe something even out of the 40s, velvet sofa, or something very simple, so that you have that tension that gets created between intricately detailed and super clean and contemporary and quiet. And that's part of what makes this work. Okay, so now when we're adding decor, which is that third layer after furnishings and the architectural shell, right, we want to keep it spare, a little lean, focusing on just a few kind of important things. Maybe books, a beautiful mirror, a single piece of artwork, always fresh flowers, pictures, frames, unique reflections of perhaps you, maybe you have some family pieces, that kind of thing. We're gonna mix all of that in to create this super groovy, sexy space. So now there's some great pieces that are must-haves for you to just automatically put on your list, all right? So don't worry, we're gonna link to all of this in the description below. So number one is a gilded Rococo or Baroque style mirror, as big as you can handle it. The second thing is you want your sofas to be in something natural and quality. So either a velvet of some sort, that would be fantastic, a linen, that would look great, the iconic tulip table that I was mentioning, and or other pieces that are from that sort of classic international period, like the Mies van der Rohe chairs or the Bruno flat bar chairs or the tulip table. But stick with classics, nothing that went way too far mid-century modern or got too jet-setty, because that's going to start to feel a little too off-center from where we're trying to go. The fourth thing is they love Italian contemporary lighting. So whether it's ceiling, floor, table lamps, doesn't matter. Zoomier, the better. The Italian modern lighting is just an incredible tension builder next to these architectural details from the 1700s. And then lastly, you want an important large artwork statement. Now, this can be a black and white thing. This could be something super colorful. Valuable, not valuable, it doesn't even matter. It just needs to look and feel important in the room. So, where do you go to get all of this? Well, there's some very specific vendors that produce some things that literally scream new French chic. So, start at Anthropologie. They have a go-to primrose gilt golden mirror that is absolutely perfect, and it comes in several sizes, so you'll want that. Design Within Reach is another great online resource for all of those classic pieces that I was talking about earlier, like the Bertoia chairs, the Bruno flat bar chair, the Barcelona seating pieces, the tulip tables, all of those Design Within Reach you can get. You can also get some of their Knoll pieces there as well, and haven't even mentioned the Herman Miller Eames chair, another classic, especially when it's done in either a black or a saddle-colored leather. Ooh, that is so fabulous and groovy. Now, I've got one that'll surprise you. How the heck do you get a Baroque fireplace? I know a place. It's a place called California Mantles. We're gonna link to it down below, and they actually have a plaster cast form that you can buy custom sized to fit your fireplace opening. So I've got you covered. So along with the mantle, you definitely need to get some applied moldings, but there's Metri, Goodware HK does some rosin, twirled and fancy bits, so those are definitely things that you can get and apply to your space. So look at Revival rugs for things that look like Turkish carpets that have been distressed. Also check out drapery companies, which, you know, Restoration Hardware, there's a number of those that we'll link down below. And then, for instance, if you're looking for a piece that's very specific, you could go to something like this Versailles chair at Restoration Hardware. But if you want to find some pieces that are actually antiques and or vintage pieces, you'll definitely have to go to places like Cherish, First Dibs, all of the online vintage stores, Pottery Barn, Rejuvenation, definitely. They have great hardware. Designers Guild, Paragold, Curry and Company, Joss and Main, Serena and Lily. Definitely don't lose track of your local consignment stores, your art galleries, and I don't want to forget about estate sales. Oh my gosh, those can be absolutely golden if you hit one right. So if you're liking this design series, be sure and let me know down below, and I'll see you guys next week.